no, man. It's you want to know about the composition, right?
Right, exactly. And
Okay.
then I'll put sound over it.
In the composition, the central figure, it's Chata Gutierrez, who we all know was well-loved DJ for KPO Radio in San Francisco, 89.5 on your FM dial, who did a show for 40 years called Enclave, every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 3. Anybody that grew up in the Mission or in the city or in the Bay Area would tune into her show because she had the best salsa Latin jazz show and featured the best rumberos, artists, salsa musicians, and interviewed many of the greats when they were in town, like Tito Puente, Mongo Santa Maria, Ray Barreto, Eddie Palmieri. So she was well loved on the East Coast too, because people knew of her whenever they came to San Francisco. For the longest, Chata opened the radio station to the community to talk about current events that are affecting the community, like joblessness, education, access to education, police brutality, whatever issues. She opened up the radio station for the community. So she was well loved, and she did her show for 40 years up until 2 weeks before she passed. And the way this mural came about was when she first got sick about 6 years ago. I was commissioned by a couple of mutual friends of Chata, Gil and Oli Medina, to do a poster for a fundraiser to raise money for her medical expenses. So we had a big who's who of Latin music at Kokomo's, and all these musicians got together and played for her to raise money. Unfortunately, she died 2 years later. After she passed, we used the same poster and blew it up and had it backstage at Acapulco for her memorial. Again, the who's who of musicians came and celebrated her life and played. And Abacha, who's one of the DJs on KPO, was hosting and saw the poster blown up backstage and asked who did it. I went up there on stage with her, and she said, "Brother, this needs to be a mural." 4 years later, here we are. It took about 4 years to find. Well, I found the wall really quick, but I had to look up the owner of the building, get her permission, and she happens to be the tamale lady. And the tamale lady's name is Virginia Ramos. And she told me that I could have the wall as long as I put her logo for her business, the tamale business that she has, on the wall. And basically her logo is the Virgen de Guadalupe with tamales around her. And so I found the place, and she's placed on the Aztec drummer's drum. And it's a perfect spot for it. So I'm giving a nod to her and her business and her logo, and putting her in the Virgen, through the Virgen in the mural. And it's good juju because the Virgen protects and blesses. You know, she's our patron saint. So whenever I need help or I want to pray for something, the Virgen is there for us, and she's never let me down. So it's sacred, and she's in the mural, so she's going to bless it and protect it. So Chata is the central figure. Her portrait is in there with the city skyline in the background and a tropical island on the other side, symbolizing, you know, the Caribbean and how she brought it to San Francisco with her music. Bridge, so the bridge is behind her, bridging, you know, so all this symbolism is in there. And then the birds, you know, they're just decoration, but they look good. So I put the two birds on either side of her because they're beautiful and they represent beauty in the tropics. The Aztec god, Tezcatlipoca, the god of night, is a warrior, so we put him in there to protect the mural symbolically. And then on the other side we have a Mexica drummer, represents drumming, and Chata, you know, supported all the musicians and drummers. So in a way it looks kind of like the drummers drumming for the other god. It's kind of like they're dancing up on top of the mural. Then I got the center, the headpiece is like a lion. And it's I got that from an old picture I saw of a Mayan ruin. So I figured I'd put it and crown her like she's the queen, a lioness. She was a badass. And so that is there, and then it's like you're looking from a ruin through to her, you know. So that's that little archway that is over her, and the bricks and all that. And then the motif, the Aztec motif, was one of my youth's ideas, because I had to collaborate with Presida in order to get this mural done, because I didn't have the money to paint the mural. And luckily for me, Susan Cervantes and Presida Eyes had gotten a grant to do 4 murals, and Ray Balberon got a grant, and so I had the wall but not the money. She had the money but not the wall. So we got together, and she said, hey, look, I'll pay for paint, scaffolding, supplies, insurance. If you collaborate with me, all you have to do is work with some young people that work with her through Urban Youth Arts. And so I had she gave me a crew to work with me. So, and the kids added their ideas to the original template, which was the poster. We added some more dancers to the mural, the Aztec motif around it, and the 2 Aztec gods. And then instead of generic drummers, I actually put real people: John Santos, Oscar Soltero, Raul Rico, Carl Perazo, Annette Aguilar, Richard Segovia, which were all original musicians from the Mission who played in Dolores Park and were the original drummers. I had that had been arrested even for playing congas in the park. So the original rumberos, which is what Chata supported and loved the music, and she loved the rumba. And the title of the mural is called La Rumba No Para. So that means the rumba will play on, and as Chata's memory will live on. And so in it, I also put my daughter in the mural. She's one of the little girl dancing with the dancers. I had to fill. The reason I put her is I had to fill some empty space. And I go, wow, man, I got to fill some space. I can't just leave that blank. So I saw a picture of my daughter dancing, and I threw it in there. She's only 3, and so she's gorgeous, and so I had to put her in there. So that element personalizes it, and now you know, we're almost done. So it's all for Chata. It's a labor of love, because you know, I'm not getting paid for this one, and you know, I wish I would, but you know, I think putting it out there is good juju, and I've been getting a lot of other offers to do murals and commissions. So out of this, you know, putting it comes back. So a little sacrifice in my time since I'm retired. I'm not, you know, making money off my, you know, off this, but it'll pay off in the long run. So I'm really happy just to put this out there for Chata, because I promised and I kept my promise. So here she is, and this is for her. She's probably looking down from heaven saying, yeah, this is it, man, you know, for Chata. So there you have the description of the whole mural and how it happened.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
You got it, brother.
You got it. You got it, brother.
I hope the paint's dry by now so I can get on them feathers.
All right. All right.